So many useful discussions come out of investing and talking about compounding. So that's definitely something that I want to include. So much of teaching kids about money is also spending time with them talking about saving and talking about investing as well. It's something I really wish my parents did for me.
The Get Rich Slow Club podcast is a collaboration between Tash Etchman from Tash Invest and Anna Christina from Perla. The Get Rich Slow Club acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land we record on. From coast to coast, across land, waters, and communities, we pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Any advice is general and does not consider your financial situation, needs, or objectives, so consider whether it's appropriate for you.
Welcome to the Get Rich Slow Club podcast,
where we take you from beginner to confident investor,
where we can teach you everything you need to know about investing.
So come get rich slow with us. Hello and welcome. Today's episode, I've got Nick Nicolaides from Perla joining me, and we're going to go over some of the best platforms for kids when it comes to saving and investing. This is our second episode in a two-part series about investing for kids. But before we get started, it's worth noting that Perla and Tash have various collaborations, including this podcast. But due to licensing limitations, Tash isn't able to talk about micro investing directly, which is why we have Nick co-hosting with me today. Now, there are various ways to invest for kids. And if you want to dive deeper into the topic, check out episode 29, where we talk through the various options. And of course, this is part 2 in the series. So just listen to the episode before this one. Before we get started, we always talk about our money wins and losses of the week. So, Nick, I'm going to throw it off to you. What is your little money moment of this week?
It feels like a really basic one this week. So it's coming to the end of school holidays, and we were up visiting some family, and so we're out of our routine. And our routine involves making our own coffee. So I headed down to the shops this morning and bought a bag of beans and got them to grind it. And so I'm getting back onto the make my own coffee train. So that feels like a nice, easy win.
That is a nice, easy win. I often look for sales, like whenever Coles or Woolies has a sale, because we get our coffee from there. I just buy bags and bags of coffee. So we have it ready because it's usually 50% off or 40% off, which is a huge savings compared to when it's not.
What machine do you use?
I have a Breville. Yeah, a Breville coffee machine.
Like
do you? What about you?
Machine. No, we've got an espresso, and what happens is we run out and then just don't get around to buying it. So we then always just go back to the old stovetop percolator-y type one. So that's what we're
that's
using
good coffee too. Like the old school kind of Greek, Italian kind of style coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, good coffee. Sometimes I like the French press too. I haven't done that in a long time, but I get too caffeinated, so no one wants to be around me. My money win of the week is I found a bulk billing place for kids. So in my area, I've gone to so many different doctors and clinics, and they always charge for kids. And I had a bunch of people online tell me I'm not looking hard enough, which is always great when you get that instant feedback on how much your kids cost. Anyhow, I went to a local bulk billing place. I don't think they kind of rush you through, you have 10 minutes quickly to say everything, get everything signed, and you get kind of pushed out. But it does save money on those little small things that you need, like a doctor's note for your kids to come back to childcare or whatever it might be. So I'm happy for that. And it made me think, this is the conversation I was having with my partner, is for us who have an emergency fund and have money aside where we can pay for doctors privately, but are still is it worth going for XYZ? I cannot even imagine how absolutely challenging it is for people who really have to look at every single penny, don't have an emergency fund, who are potentially living in poverty, how difficult it is when it comes to medical conditions.
Yeah, just the cash outlay and then waiting for it to hit your bank account and all those various things, it hurts. I think it hurts everyone, and that's privilege that we can afford it. But yeah, it's not easy, and it's definitely not cheap.
Yeah, definitely not the medical stuff, especially with kids being sick all the time. Which kind of ties into this episode specifically. So many of us parents want to raise financially resilient kids, and so much of that comes down to how we talk to our kids and teach them about money. But the other side of things is that it could be helpful to have resources like financial products and apps that facilitate these conversations. So we're going to dive into some of the best platforms to teach your kids about money. We will also go over the various product disclosure statements. So this is a PDS to really understand the comparisons of various products. A PDS is a document that contains essential details about a financial product, and it's required by law in Australia. A PDS gives you the information you need to make informed choices. All kinds of financial products have PDSs attached, such as investment funds, insurance policies, and superannuation funds. So we'll get to dive deeper into that. I know it might not sound as exciting, but it is really helpful in being able to compare different products. So let's dive into the different platforms.
Cool. There's a few different ways you can invest for your kids. One of the most popular ways is to invest for your kid through a broker in either your own name or through a minor informal trust account.
So keep in mind that tax needs to be paid on any earnings from investments, and depending on if you use your own TFN or a kid's TFN, that can have tax implications. Therefore, it's best to talk to a financial advisor when it comes to investing and whose TFN or name you choose to use on that account.
Yeah, many parents choose to either invest in their own name, which will then have to pay taxes on any earnings just like they would otherwise, or invest through a minor account. The following options we go through support one of the two possibilities.
So let's get into it.
Okay, Perla Head Start, no surprises there. So the first platform we're discussing is Perla Head Start. It's a micro-investing platform designed to share with your children and dependent and educate them about their investing journey. So let's get into the details. You can invest with as little as $5 or start with a lump sum. You can also auto-invest, like set an amount. This allows you to invest a certain amount of money based on your preferred frequency. In Perla Head Start, there are 10 funds that track ETFs. This way you can closely align your portfolio with managed funds that track ETFs. The current pricing is $1.70 a month if you choose just one fund, or $2.30 capped per month for multiple. It's free for the first $100. Each underlying ETF has its own management fee, which is common for ETFs. This fee is expressed as a percentage is deducted from the fund's assets. So in that case, you should refer to the PDS of the underlying ETF. It's not unlike buying an ETF, but it's just wrapped in a micro fund. It's possible to invest in your own name or a minor account / informal trust. So it's possible to do both. It's something that you can have on your phone. It looks quite different to a typical broker account, so that may make it easier to share.
So to understand and compare these products like for like, we're going to dive into the product disclosure statement, the PDS, that discusses the fee structure. So let's do an example of if you had a balance of $50,000 at the beginning of the year with a contribution of $5,000 during the year. If we use Perler Micro's American Buffet, which tracks the ETF IVV, which tracks the S&P 500, the approximate amount of fees you will pay in the first year if you invested $50,000 is $245.40. Now, $50K may be really high when it comes to investing for your kids, but this is a standard example used in a PDS so that you can compare it to other products. Other fees and costs may apply, and historical performance is not indicative of future performance because, all investments do carry some risk. So please read the PDS for more information.
And just to jump in, the $245.40 we mentioned is all of the fees and costs. So it includes the monthly fees plus any of the underlying ETF fees that may be charged by an ETF manager and the costs to run the fund.
So next up is Raise Kids, which is also a micro-investing platform which you can invest for your children or dependent who are under the age of 18. You can invest your spare change from everyday purchases and set up recurring payments or lump sums. Kids can have direct access to their own portfolio with your permission. Raise Kids is currently free of charge for Raise customers. However, it's worth reading over the PDS as there may be additional accounting and maintenance fees that are based on the account balance, even if it states it's free. So for example, an additional monthly maintenance fee of $2 is payable for using Raise Kids if the combined balance of the Raise Kids accounts have a value of less than $8,750 at the end of each month, irrespective of whether you've set up one Raise Kids account or 8. And if the combined balances of the Raise Kids account has a value equal to or greater than the $8,750, there is no additional maintenance fee. If the Raise Kids account is the only account, then the maintenance fee of the underlying portfolio chosen will apply. So it's just worth noting all of that. And in terms of the accounting fee, Raise Kids is $0 per annum. Combined Raise Kids accounts balances of less than $8,750 or 0.275% is the combined Raise Kids account balance equal to or greater than $8,750.
Wait, so the account has no fees if it's under a certain amount, but then once it gets over that certain amount, another type of fee kicks in, just to be clear. Yeah, I understood you. Let's do the same comparison with Raise if you're investing directly into one of their micro products. So let's use the same example. If you had a balance of $50,000, again, because this is the standard amount put in a lot of PDSs, at the beginning of the year with a contribution of $5,000 halfway through the year. Looking at all their options, the cheapest one is the moderate portfolio, where the total fees would be around $260.68. Just for completeness, this is $15.28 more than Pearler Micro's cheapest option. Other fees and costs may apply, and historic performance is not indicative of future performance. All investments carry risk. Read the PDS for more information. Hey everyone, we're going to have to repeat that every time we talk about some fees, so just a heads up. Sorry and thank you for listening. Let's keep going. Okay, so the next one is Vanguard Personal Investor for Kids. This is a custodial model when it comes to investing. One thing to note about this account is that you need to open a personal investor account first, that's an adult account, for yourself in order to open a kids account. So let's dive into the other terms. Minimum investments, $25. You can make regular investments fortnightly, monthly, quarterly, and there are 4 ready-made portfolios. They're called conservative, balanced, growth, and high growth. Family can pay into the account directly. And regarding taxation, it's important to read the PDS, and we're going to read from it here. It states, investment income earned on a Vanguard Personal Investor Kids account, including any capital gains from the disposal or transfer of investments, is typically taxed to the minor at special minor rates, which are higher than tax rates which apply to adults, unless special circumstances apply. Capital gains tax implications may also arise if investments in the account are transferred to the child at a later time. For example, once they turn 18 and have their own personal investment account. Therefore, it's important to talk to a tax accountant if you are planning to invest in your kid's name/TFN.
So it sounds like this account specifically uses the kids' TFN. Is that right?
It sounds like it, but again, you really got to dig into details when you're looking at these things. And everyone's going to try and do their best to explain everything and put it all onto the investor to do their own research, which is fair. We should all do our own research.
Now let's do our cost comparison where we compare it to other platforms. So again, we're using the example of the $50K balance and the contribution of the $5,000 during the year. So if you do that, you'll be charged $115.50. However, what it costs depends on the investment option you choose. This example is based on having $500 in a Vanguard cash account, $20,000 in a Vanguard high growth index fund, $20,000 in Vanguard Australian shares index ETF, and $9,500 in direct shares. It's also worth noting that a flat $9 brokerage fee applies to buying and selling direct shares. If you acquire direct shares in multiple transactions, you will be charged a brokerage fee for each trade, but there's no brokerage fee to buy Vanguard ETFs. Other fees and costs may apply. Remember, historical performance is not indicative of future performance. All investments carry risk. Read the PDS for more information.
We should ring a bell every time we have to read that one out, but let's keep going.
All right, so the next one is Spriggy. Spriggy is another platform aimed to help kids learn about money. They have a money managing product, but also an investment product. So let's talk about the investment product first. The minimum to invest is $50. It's a $2 fee on each investment and withdrawal under $1,000, and a 0.2% fee on each investment and withdrawal over $1,000. There's also fees charged by the underlying product, so check the PDS for that.
Okay, so let's do the same comparison, investing $50,000 with a contribution of $5,000 during the year. The cost of the high growth product is $123.64, balanced product $85.68, and the global technology is $332.62. So that being said, additional fees such as an establishment fee or an exit fee may apply as well. And remember, historic performance is not indicative of future performance. All investors carry risk. Read the PDS for more information.
Ding, ding, ding. The little bell goes off again.
Okay. So we've now covered a range of micro investing options that are in the market to invest for your kid. But what we should also just mention is chair-sponsored platforms for kids. So this is where you're investing directly into ETFs listed on the ASX. If you want to invest for your child using chair-sponsored products, there are various platforms you can use along with Pearler's own share product. This way, you can still choose whether you want to invest in your own name, minor account, or through a trust. The main benefit is the security and record keeping of the investments being chair sponsored. But one of the biggest downsides is you need to invest $500 at a time, which may seem like a large amount when it comes to investing for kids.
So Pearler has a comparison between their products, shares, which is chess sponsored, and Head Start, which is micro investing. That may help you understand what is best suited for you. So just Google the Pearler Kids Investing Hub, which is a great site to check out. Alongside Perler, there are other brokers who provide minor accounts alongside their Chess-sponsored products such as Self-Wealth, ComSec, and StockSpot.
Okay, so non-investment platforms. We've talked about the investment platforms for kids. Let's discuss some of the non-investing platforms that help with saving and spending. The first one is Spriggy.
We mentioned Spriggy previously regarding investing, but they also have a cash-focused product. So how does this work? You can download the app and connect your debit card or bank account and fund the account with money. Then you activate your kid's card and they can use it. It can be used to pay pocket money for jobs or chores done by kids. They can also view their balances and spend the money on their card. There's also additional features for kids that are 13 years old or more. So the cost on it is $60 a year or $5 a month for one child, or $78 a year or $6.50 a month for two kids or more. Now, other fees and costs may apply.
Okay. Sorry, just absorbing the fees and how it all works. And I have kids and I haven't yet got a Spriggy account, but I've got to get on top of it. Okay, so Kit is the next one. Kit's a pocket money app where kids can earn with jobs, save towards goals, and track spending. Kids can learn in the app with money quests as well. There's a 30-day free trial. Then from $3 a month / $30 a year. For more than two kids, it's just $5 a month, $50 a year. Other fees and costs may apply. You can get a free Kit membership for 12 months if you're an eligible CommBank Yellow customer. So check out that. Kit has features for parents, carers, and kids, including prepaid physical card, customizable pocket money tracking, and the ability to automate payday. It's also possible to set money goals. And as always, other fees and costs may apply. So check that out. Anna, actually, have you used any of these platforms?
So at the moment, I invest in my name through a Chess-sponsored shares on Perler. And it's because I've had a large lump sum that I've invested when the kids were born, and I've continued to add that from birthday money or gifted money to the kids. But as my kids get older, I'm probably going to use something like, Perler Micro to get them started so that they can actually watch their investments evolve over time. It's something I really wish my parents did for me. So many useful discussions come out of investing and talking about compounding. So that's definitely something that I want to include. Plus, I'll probably consider a banking app like Spriggy or Kit for making purchases and saving easily. But so much of teaching kids about money is also spending time with them talking about saving and talking about investing as well.
That sounds great. They're lucky kids. So good luck.
Thanks. Hopefully they learn a lot through osmosis and me talking about it. But yeah, so that's all for today. So depending on the goals and conversations you want to have with your kids, these are some of the apps you can choose from. But keep in mind that if you are planning to invest for your kids, it's worth talking to a tax accountant or a financial advisor to understand the tax consequences of all of this. So that's all. Thanks.
Thanks all.
Bye. Thanks so much for joining us. If you found this episode helpful, please rate us 5 stars, write a review, or share with a friend. If you're new to investing, make sure to listen to our first 10 episodes. Follow us at Get Rich Slow Club or Tash at Tash Invests or me at Ana Cristina.
This show was brought to you by Natasha Etchman, who is an authorized representative 1299881 of Guideway Financial Services, AFSL 420367, and Perla, who is an authorized representative 1281540 of Sanlam Private Wealth, AFSL 337927. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to investing. So make sure you check out our financial services guides and read the product disclosure statement and target market determination for any investments you're considering. See our show notes for more info.